Welcome into the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340, 106.9 WCDT Winchester. I am Joe Abraham. Sitting in studio, might as well be alone. Because I take a day off. I left to go fishing last week. Left to go fishing Friday to prepare for the Tim's Ford Bass Classic. I came back with, I don't know, no fish, no bracket, no loyalty. And now I think I need to be taking applications. I think I need to be taking applications for my next producer.
Yeah.
Temporarily, though, the Wookiee is sitting in with me, Chewy in studio.
Chewy the Trader. Hey, listen,
Yeah.
I'm really making that. I'm really making that title ring, aren't I?
I think t-shirts. I think t-shirts are needed for that.
I agree. I want.
Chewy is a trader.
Yeah. Good.
Jump in the chat.
Yeah. Let us know how disappointed you are in me, if at all.
Do you think it's good for Chewy that he's a trader, or do you think it's bad? No, we welcome you into the show this morning. Let me start off by setting the scene, as it were. We are Franklin County's favorite way to get their mornings started, and hopefully everybody is up and at 'em. Welcome back. We were here all week last week. I know that a lot of people got to travel, got to trip it up, got to head down to the beach, suck down some margaritas, maybe enjoy the sun a little bit, whatever you got to do. I was up here dealing with all this stuff.
Treachery.
Yeah, all this. Just traders everywhere. Traders sitting right across from me. But you can get involved in the show. 931-967-3500. You can hit us on the text line at 931-305-5611. It is a Mayhem Monday. Last week, traditionally it's called Good Friday. I think it needs to be renamed after Chewy's treachery. I mean, we have not. I don't know if we've seen treachery like this since the garden, since Jesus got betrayed in the garden on the Mount of Olives.
I was gonna say this is like your Valentine's Day massacre. You know what I mean? The Good Friday betrayal. Mark that in your calendars. Hey, I wanted to say hi to Cindy Hen. She's jumping in saying, good morning from Fort Myers Beach.
Good morning.
But not the Lonnie Kai, she says.
No.
Here for busted bracket talk.
So I did get pictures sent to me of the Lonnie Kai. They repainted it, which is probably a good thing considering, the whole thing probably got flooded out not that long ago. But interestingly enough, still standing. Still standing.
It's pretty wild, dude.
Yeah.
Like, for that business to still be there.
I mean, the entirety of Fort Myers Beach got totally wiped off the map. The pier's gone. Everything was gone.
But
the Lonnie Kai stands the test of time.
Oh, dear.
There is an evil in that building that has it rooted straight to hell.
Oh, my gosh. We need to do a Lord of the Rings thing where we walk to the Lonnie Kai.
Oh, man.
We need to make a pilgrimage back to Lonnie Kai.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Well, just be careful, Miss Cindy. Don't go too close. I don't want you to hopefully. Well, I don't know. I don't know if you got the shots or anything like that just to go to Fort Myers. Fort Myers is beautiful, but the Lonnie Kai, you walk in and out of that place.
Something's gonna be on you.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to get some. What are those things called? You gotta get some shots.
So like a tetanus shot. Just go ahead and
a
tell
booster
your
shots,
tell your
whatever.
doctor just to go ahead and give you a little cocktail of everything.
Yeah.
He'll just tell him, hey, I was at the Lonnie Kai, and he'll be like, oh yeah, we got you.
So, let's start with it. We're just gonna start with this because here in a little bit we're gonna start making phone calls out to Poultry Electric. Hour number 2. We're not going to have Miss Rachel in, Rachel Shields from the school district. She let me know a week or so ago that she was going to be out of town for this week. So we're going to miss her. But that will allow us to lay open and have some conversations about some other things. Upcoming election season, what's important to you guys. You guys started, Chewy, you and the guys in the show, somebody jumped in the chat last week and said something about a community center.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about that. But before we get into all of that stuff and even talk about my bracket, which is now dead, completely dead,
What
absolutely,
happened?
We'll get into that. I leave for one day. And what's funny about that is that you go out and you practice fishing. And Katie always makes fun of us. Well, how can you really win? It's not about skill, it's about luck, she always says. She's like, what if the fish just don't want to bite? Sweetie, baby, come on. For other people, maybe they don't want to bite. But we know, A, we know where to look. And B, we know how to catch them. We're very skilled anglers. We're not just fishermen.
You're anglers.
We're anglers. See our boat? It's got stickers on it.
And glitter.
See this shirt that I'm wearing? It's got sponsors on it. So we go
See
out.
the scar on my forehead?
Yeah. See this?
You want to know how I got these scars?
Last time we went out, my father caught a 200-pound meat. So we go out. I'm just minding my own business, trying to enjoy my spring break, which amounted to essentially one day. And we're out on the water. I'm listening to this show, and the Scooter Syndicate shows up in full force.
Yeah.
Led by none other than Sam Davidson, a.k.a. Sammy D. And that's his street name, Sammy D.
Mm-hmm.
And backed by an army of what I can only describe as the Scooter Tutors. That's how I will reference them. Scooter Tutors and Johnny Hand.
So I was the only hoagie roller in the building while we were basically being
I didn't
ascended
say you
upon.
could talk yet.
Yeah.
Don't try and explain this away. Because they didn't just attack you. It wasn't like they came upon you and attacked you. They rolled up here, and all week last week, what were we talking about, Chewy? We're talking about recruiting and how recruiting should not be happening. And despite all efforts, it is. Case in point, they show up and they recruited you. They flipped you. While I was out trying to catch fish, apparently, that don't exist. And it wasn't a mistake. This was an organized attack on the rollers. It was calculated. This was a hostile takeover. You know, I heard Sammy D say that I was too afraid to be here because I knew that they were coming. And I was warned at one point that they might show up. I didn't know that it was going to be that day. We, however, I wasn't going to be there, and I suspect, from my end, I suspect that the only reason the Scooter Tutors and Sammy D showed up was because they knew I wasn't going to be here, and they wouldn't have pulled that crap if I was here. Because when it comes to the hoagie rollers, I may be short or not as big as people think that I am, but I'm the enforcer around here, all right?
That's what we call you.
Yeah.
The enforcer.
Yeah,
whenever,
that's me.
Whenever a sponsor is like, hey, is there any advertising available? And you're not around, we'll be like, the enforcer will contact you very soon, you know.
Leave a message for the enforcer at the beep. So what's funny about this whole thing is, you know, by the time the show wrapped up, on air, it seemed like you were okay. Like you were kind of wavering a little bit, but I don't know what happened behind closed doors. I don't know if there was like NIL money being thrown around. I don't know what they offered you. I don't know how you were so easily influenced and swayed within a matter of an hour and a half from the time they showed up to the time they left. But you just left the hoagie rollers for a group called the Scooter Syndicate. I want you to think about that. You left to the dark side. You were supposed to You were supposed to bring balance to the force.
Supposed to destroy the scooter syndicate, not join them. Yeah, dude, it was it was impulse, but it was for the plot, and I like that. It was for the plot. So,
I just want to ask you. I mean, were you able to sleep at all over the weekend?
Yeah, I actually forgot I had done it by like Saturday. And then this morning I texted you because the car's low on gas, and you said, "What? Your scooter almost didn't?" Or you said something snarky like,
"Scooter didn't
yeah,
start."
Your scooter didn't start. Yeah, and then I was like, "What? Oh!" And I was like, "I totally forgot about that." But yeah, so
no. Well, okay. Deep down, though, I don't think that this was just an overnight decision.
Oh, okay.
I go back to these YouTube videos and all the things. You've been like dying to betray me.
Yeah.
You've been planning this.
You think I've been doing a little bit of foreshadowing?
I think so. I think that this is not just you said that it was just kind of in the moment. It just happened. Just happened. Like you had an affair. You cheated on me. It just happened. I don't know.
I wasn't thinking. I'm sorry. Yeah. I was doing it for us.
No, this has been brewing under the surface.
Okay, so Amber Davidson jumped in saying, I think it was the cute drawings made for him. That is an excellent point. So Presley came in, and she had she had multiple drawings. And she gave me like all of these gifts, and it was just it was a beautiful gesture. And all of those are up there on my wall in the office. And that is a good point. That may have helped. I'm a sucker for art, and that art was good. She made us finger lightsabers, dude. They were so sick.
So, just because saying that I don't give you anything?
My God.
Saying that.
Oh, my God. No. But it was very special.
Saying that I don't show my affection for you?
Yeah, you do.
In the right way?
You just do it in different ways. You know what I mean?
I mean, if you want a picture, I'll draw you a picture.
Well, it's too late now. Andrew's jumping in this morning. Good morning, Andrew. He says, good morning, champion.
What I don't understand is, Johnny Hand, I mean, he's supposed to be a professional, supposed to understand the ins and outs. He's out here recruiting my guy. I'm going to go to higher power. I got to file an injunction or something against you. I got to stop this from happening. They're going to make you sit out.
Doug Garrett says, sounds like Joe left the fort while he was off moonlighting with his sidekicks in the boat brigade.
The boat brigade.
Sounds like Sammy D had a well-planned hostile takedown. Good point. I may just be a sucker. Who knows?
The Tims Ford Navy needed me, okay?
Against the largemouth bass fret. Hey, how did you enjoy that, by the way? Was it like a fun time?
Yeah. So it's never a good thing when your practice day goes better than the actual tournament. And what I mean by that is the tournament went well. It's run well. The fish just did not cooperate. We caught some really good fish on Friday morning. And then Saturday, we caught one good fish. And so Friday we were hopping around from spot to spot. We're trying to see, okay, what are they doing? What can we catch them on? What do we want to be doing tomorrow? Where do we want to start? Where do we want to move to if that's not working? And so we were just kind of feeling it out. And every place that we went to, see if you catch fish there, you don't want to keep fishing there because you know that they're there, and you know that what you're doing is working. And so we had a kind of an idea in mind on practice day, and we went to the first spot. Bang, caught a fish. Went to the second spot. Bang, caught a fish doing something similar. So we started to develop a pattern. Okay, we know that these type of spots and this is what we're going to do tomorrow. Went to a third spot. Bang, caught another fish. We were catching fish. Like every spot we showed up at, a few casts in, we caught a fish. And so we had a plan. We felt confident. I slept well Saturday night, outside of the fact that you betrayed me, and I was having nightmares about you joining a scooter syndicate all weekend. But fishing-wise, I slept well. And Saturday morning, wake up, get out there, and literally caught a smallmouth. The big dog caught a smallmouth on like his second cast. But it was it didn't measure. It was like 15 or 16 inches, something like that, and it needed to be. I think it needs to be 17 inches on Tim's Ford, which is a big smallmouth. Didn't measure, and so I had to throw it back. Then I caught a good one. Didn't measure. It was fat but short. Didn't measure. Then we just kept losing fish. Couldn't get them in a boat. They'd come off, or we'd go to set the hook, rip the hook right out of the fish's mouth. I mean, it was amazing. We probably lost like 8 fish.
Oh wow!
It was really brutal. And he and I are normally pretty good. It's not like this is the first time we've done this. But they were also not biting the way that they were on Friday, which probably had something to do with the weather. And so I ended up getting about a 2.5 pounder in a boat, and that was pretty much it. So towards the end of the day, we just tossed them back and basically went home a little bit early, empty-handed. Not early, but we didn't even weigh in anything like that. I wasn't going to weigh in one fish. So, yeah, it was tough. But then we ran into some other folks who said the same thing. I ran into the Argo boys. Mm-hmm. Argo boys caught 10 fish. None of them were keepers.
Wow.
Yeah. And
really?
we caught 5 or 6 fish, and then we probably lost 8 more that who knows? Who knows what it would have been like if we had actually, gotten some of those in the boat. It was a brutal day in that regard, but as far as the tournament was good.
Well, as long as you had a good time.
I didn't even know what the winning weight was. I was so disgusted. I got to go back and check, see who the winner was.
I did want to address this. Lambo jumped in saying, blood in, blood out, the only way. So can't be flipped or recruited. Hoagie rollers for life, he says.
Yeah.
Katie says, tell us about the trophy winning weight that you brought in during the Tim's Ford tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't there. No weight. And you know what is even more disappointing is that's not the only thing. So again, on Friday I lose who I thought was my best friend. I joke around about him being a traitor. Turns out he actually is.
That's self-fulfilling prophecy, Joe Abraham.
I need
you manifest what you put out in the world, boy.
What I need is for somebody. This is a job description that I'm looking for. Somebody who can push the sliders up and down, who can press the buttons, turn them on and off, who can start the show, who can do some things in the studio, and maybe has a little bit of medical expertise to pull this knife out of my back.
Et tu, Brute? Yeah.
This is the recruiting that I am doing now, because I got to find your replacement.
Treacherous tendencies need not apply.
Yeah. If you got any of those, I don't want any of those.
Lambo says that he said the waters did look a little choppy when he rode by his Harley, seeing all the boats coming in. He says. Yeah,
it was a little windy.
I got some really nice drone shots.
Oh yeah.
I was really upset that the overcast hit like as soon as everybody was rolling in though, but still had some really good ones with like all the fishermen out on the lake and everything.
Yeah.
I also got a really cool sweeping shot of like all the trucks, and it made it look like there were way more there.
Yeah.
But well, I'm sorry you didn't catch anything.
Still a lot. Yeah. I don't know. I've got to check and see what the winning weight and all the things were. I got to get the details on it. I'll be honest with you. I was so upset that I didn't even. Are you guys like that? Are you so competitive where you just like don't even want to know? I don't even want to hear about it. I didn't even want to talk about it this morning because I'm so pissed off that we didn't catch any fish. Like I'm still so mad.
That's why I think they should do a spear fishing thing. Now that's what I would do. Like if it were me, I would do some tactical fishing with like a bucket. I'm
gonna hit you with a spear.
Yeah, I've seen the picture of you with one. Anyway, you ready for a break?
Yeah. So when we come back, we'll see if Chewy wants to defend himself at all. If he's got any defense to his betrayal there at all. Maybe ask him if he regrets it. I don't know. He says he was kind of pressured into it. I don't think so. I think that this was building. What do you think? Jump in the chat. So today on the show, we're going to talk about more than just Chewy's big betrayal. Used to be referenced as Good Friday. It's now we're going to call it either Bad Friday or Dark Friday. I think Bad Friday's good.
Bad Friday, yeah.
It went from Good Friday to now it's Bad Friday.
Sad Friday.
Sad Friday.
Yeah.
That's good. Good Friday to Sad Friday.
Doug says you left Chewy to guard the fort knowing full well it could be taken over by someone with some pizza and Dr. Pepper. You can't blame Chewy for doing Chewy things. I don't know.
That's true. I was worried. I was worried more about him raiding the fridge than I was anything else. And I should have. To Doug's point, I got to take accountability. It's my fault.
There's Brett. There he is. He says,
fault.
"Hey guys, sorry I'm late. I got you, Joe. I'm in." There you go. Brett's gonna come in, and swoop in, and save the day. Then he's gonna. Oh man, that would be great for the story. He comes in, and then he kills me, and then he becomes a producer.
Kills you.
Y'all stuff my head on the wall.
Yeah, I think we stick you in the corner like one of those big grizzly bears.
I want to be that. The genie fortune teller
Yeah,
machine.
put
things.
you in one of those boxes.
Yeah. I want to do that. Have my body
Here's the thing, though. I really don't want to give you what you want, so I think I'm going to pose you as like a Chewy taking a dump in the woods.
No, you need. Here's what you.
Some really embarrassing pose. You don't deserve that.
So you can that's how people remember you.
Yeah.
You need to have me being eaten by. Do you remember in Dante's Inferno? He was eating Gaius, Flavius, and Judas and Brutus. He needs to have a fourth mouth for me now. You know what I mean? You need to paint me up there with him.
All right. Speaking of Judas, we'll be back on the other side with him. It is the starting lineup. ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester.
Out with the cold, in with the comfort. Refresh your home with Hall Furniture in Winchester. From stylish living room sets to cozy recliners and dining pieces made for gathering, now's the perfect time to upgrade your space. Quality, comfort, and pieces you'll love coming home to. That's Hall Furniture. Visit them at 3131 Deckard Boulevard in Winchester or browse anytime at hallfurniture.com. Hall Furniture. Make your home feel brand new.
You shouldn't have to choose between quality and price. And with Flagship Lawn Services, you get both, plus the Flagship Finish Guarantee. That means every job is done right, or they'll make it right. No shortcuts, no hassle. Just a yard that looks the way it should. From weekly mowing to full spring cleanups, they've got you covered. Call or text Flagship Lawn Services today at 239-849-4033 and get the best value for your yard this season.
Cooling down from our very high summer-like temperatures, but still staying mostly sunny today with a high of 67 degrees and some north winds coming in at just 5 miles per hour. So it's going to be a nice, sunny and breezy day. Get out there and enjoy it while you enjoy ESPN Radio Winchester 1340 1069.
If you're competing with 3 other businesses in the same category, you're not advertising, you're fighting for attention. At ESPN Radio Winchester, our top partners don't outshout their competitors, they eliminate them through partnerships that offer category protection and exclusivity. Fewer competitors, stronger recall, better results. That's how local advertising is supposed to work. Learn how smart advertising creates a competitive advantage with ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester.
There was an outline for today's show, but it didn't survive the opening segment. Back to Joe and Chewy on the starting lineup right here on ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester.
Back here on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester. Yeah, so it was a tough weekend for me. It was Easter weekend, and I got a chance to hang out with the family, celebrate. But man, I was in a somber mood all weekend because it was just the hits just kept on coming, one right after another after another.
Amber Davidson says, "Hello, Chewy from Presley." Hello, Presley. It's good to hear from you again. Brett Crabtree says, "Weekend at Bernie style."
Yeah.
My corpse.
There you go.
And then Ricky Tips jumped in saying, "Joe's never read Dante's Inferno."
No, I've never read that book.
Have you really not?
Nope.
It's a good book. You'd like it.
No, you were saying, remember in Dante, and I'm like, nope, never read that book. But I do agree with you, deserving to be eaten in hell or whatever you were referencing. I'm on board for that.
You didn't even know. You're just like, oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that sounds about right.
I agree with whatever punishment we can come up with. Sure, sounds good. It was your idea. I can't be held responsible. No, it was one hit right after another. Man, I need something to I used this term earlier today for the first time in quite a while. I need something to warm my cockles because I'm so upset. So somebody make me feel better in some way.
Let's set some positivity in the chat for Joe Abraham. He's had a rough weekend.
Here's the worst part of it all. Not only with the fish, not only with my friend, but we are gathered here today to remember a once promising bracket of mine, a bracket that had hope,
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
that had vision, and that apparently had no chance because once Arizona decided to sabotage my entire life, it was over. And I want to make one thing very, very clear. This was not on me. Okay, my bracket, this is on Arizona. Okay? Now, you may be saying, wait. Joe is like the king of accountability. He wants everybody to have accountability for their actions and stuff. And that's true. Everybody else. What I witnessed this weekend wasn't just a loss. And I'm not saying that I'm a conspiracy theorist or that we haven't ever been to the moon, but this was a coordinated effort to ruin specifically to ruin my bracket.
They knew Joe Abraham was had a 14% win percentage, and they were like, not today.
Yeah, no, Arizona just they realized they could either win the title or they could see me wearing orange. And, they must have some ties to the syndicate that I wasn't aware of. But apparently they forgot how to play basketball against Michigan. Credit Michigan. That team is absolutely insane. And I missed on that one. Well, when they go around spending half the season beating teams by 30 points, you'd think I'd have paid attention. Nope, I didn't. And sure enough, they've done it all through the tournament. But at this stage, with my bracket on the line, still not buying it. I did my research. I trusted. I'm not saying that I blame handsome Rob Kortner or anything like that for his shoddy intel, but I just know it wasn't me. So it's coming from somewhere else. We got to figure out where the problem is. Maybe it was the metrics. Metrics were wrong. The numbers were wrong. Somebody did their math wrong.
Ricky Tips jumped in, reminding you that this is a kids show, so don't say that I deserve to be eaten by the devil.
That's true.
But then Johnny Hand said, sorry I'm late. I was out enjoying a brisk celebratory morning ride. Did I miss anything? You did miss a whole lot, Johnny. Lambasting and lamenting this morning on
Lambasting.
Yeah.
That's Lambo's new nickname, the Lambastor.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So anyway, yeah. I do have to be careful because the kids are back and they're going back to school now.
Yeah,
7:00 hour. Gotta be more aware.
Well, I am glad that school's back in session because all of our viewers are back.
That's good.
Yeah, and
good.
so I'm more than I'm glad everyone has had a good spring break.
In case they missed it, Chewy spent all week last week setting up for the ultimate betrayal, in which he joined the Scooter Syndicate of his own free will. It wasn't like in Temple of Doom, where all of a sudden Indiana Jones just loses his mind and is trying to, he turns bad and he's trying to kill them. It wasn't like that. No, Chewie was in his full capacities, at least as far as Chewie goes. It's not like his capacities are super big. They say they're really big capacities. It's just little capacities. But he had all those.
God. Oh. Anyway.
Back to Arizona.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they threw the game. I am saying that they definitely lost the game.
Yeah.
Which lost my bracket. In fact, the only thing that I couldn't have happen, it wasn't even that they needed to win the whole tournament. If they had lost in the finals, I'd have been set. I'd have been okay. I just needed them to get to the finals, and I would have been in good shape. I would have been a lock for the top 10. I thought it was a lock for the top 10, and in fact, right now I'm sitting at number 10, exactly number 10. And the problem with that is, and I already went and I looked, and everybody will be excited to know because I know how much everybody loves me and wants to see me not wear orange or wear orange or wherever I'm going with this. If and when, I say if, when Michigan wins the title tonight, there's one more person that's going to pass me. And I'm going to fall to number 11, which is actually ironic because I finished in 11th last year. But even more heartbreaking than all of this is all of the bets that I set, all of them were predicated on finishing in the top 10. So it would have been one thing if I had just like gotten totally blown out of the top 10 and finished in like 30th or something. But no, as is how my luck works, I got tempted with the title. It was sitting right there in front of me. And all I needed was Arizona to finish the job. And I went from being on the precipice of greatness to now I am going to be freaking wearing orange on this show. I have no doubt that this is going to happen. Michigan is going to win the title. And this guy that's behind me, he's like 15th or 17th or 20th or something like that. He's going to boat race by me when they win the title. And I'm going to finish in 11th. I'm going to finish in one place outside of the top 10.
Sam Davidson also did jump in this morning, believe it or not. So basically the entirety of the Scooter Syndicate is all here. Presley was in earlier. Sam's here. Johnny's here. Scooter Syndicate is what he says. Ricky says all three. But here's my question. Is the concept of me going to the gym so funny that it should predicate any previous bet making?
No, I think that I'm just gonna have to figure out a different way to get you in there. I lost that bet,
Okay.
or I'm going to, and I'll have to go double or nothing.
I'll be honest with you, I was a little excited to try it out. So we'll
But you keep bringing it up, so I think that you want to go.
I mean, yeah, I thought it would be so much. Tell me it wouldn't be hilarious to watch me in the gym, like in Crocs, like, you know what I mean?
It would
like,
be.
Yeah, but
I got to come up with some way to make that happen. And here's the thing: I'm starting to wonder if maybe the Cosmos don't want it to happen.
it's like oh my gosh, you're so right though. Do you know what I mean? Like
Every
one
time
place,
we do, like I could be like, okay, if we go outside and the sky is blue, then you're going to join me in the gym. And all of a sudden some sort of like sunburst happens and the sky turns purple, black, whatever, and
yeah, it'd be the one day.
hell freezes over and you don't go to the gym with me.
Yeah.
It's just anything that I do. I think that the entire simulation is predicated on Chewy not going to the gym.
Maybe, in the opposite way, you should go overeat some pizza with me.
I feel like I've been doing that lately.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been indulging, speaking to what Doc was talking about this morning.
Yeah.
I have not been good with my diet and all the things, and I need to get back in the gym. I was hoping to drag you along with me to make me feel better about myself.
You make a funny point, though, about, like, we've planned 3 or 4 times to get me into the gym before.
Yeah.
And every single time it never
We're like
came.
driving over there, we'll get in a car accident or
Yeah.
something like that. Something will happen to keep
we'll
us away.
We'll die before they let us in the gym, the Cosmos do.
We get there and the gym's just like shut down, closed.
All of them are all shut down. You're just like, okay.
Jack and iron is now illegal.
Okay. So Brett Crabtree said, "Hey Joe, remember a couple weekends ago I said something about Pride coming before the fall, and you were saying something how great your bracket was before one game into the tournament."
I put my trust in Arizona. Okay?
Yeah.
I believed in them. I defended them, and this is how they repaid me.
Betrayed by Arizona too, dude. This
just
is
a
your
whole-
villain arc.
Just a second dagger right in the back. And again, I want to go on the record and just clear it up. I am taking zero responsibility. Zero. This is not a Joe problem. This was not it's not about my picks.
It was the universe.
This was about them and how they played. I feel like I did everything that I needed to win. And Arizona didn't hold up their end of the bargain. Just like Chewy.
All right.
Betrayed twice in a matter of a weekend. And we're not even talking about the fish. Those little traitors. Anyway, all right. Let's get a quick break. When we come back, we'll go out to Poultry Electric and Pro Hardware. And here's a conversation that I want to have. Now that we've got all the goofiness out of the way here on the show today, a couple of serious notes. I am taking applications to replace Chewy. That is a serious note. That's number one. Number two, I just slipped that in there. Number two, election season is coming up. And I want to know what's important for you guys when considering who you're going to vote for. What are the important things that you look for in local candidates? I want to kind of get into that. And number three, there was talk of the community center last week on the show. It was only kind of glossed over. Somebody jumped in the chat and said that they wish we had a community center. Mm-hmm. We're coming off a spring break, and if you had kids that were just driving you absolutely insane and you didn't know what to do with them and all the things, we have a tendency to I'm not going to say get things done, but we have a tendency to get things done on this show to a certain extent. And, if we want a community center or if we want to make changes in the community, there are some things that we can do and to move in that direction. And so I want to talk more about that. What do we want from a community center? What are we missing that we don't have? Or maybe it's just in the short term, talking about summer's coming up right around the corner. What are you going to do with your kids this summer? And maybe I'll give you some ideas or we can kick some around in the chat and things like that. But I want to have this because to me, it's not about the community center. I think the community center is the talking point of a bigger underlying issue. And so let's dig into that a little bit as well. All of that's coming up here on the show in hour number 2. We've got Poultry Electric and Pro Hardware when we come back, though. It is ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester.
Every child deserves a safe place to grow. When substance misuse enters a home, children can face neglect and lasting trauma. The Drug Endangered Children's Initiative in Franklin County brings together schools, first responders, and community partners to identify risks early and protect our most vulnerable. It's not about blame, it's about protection. And when we stand up for our children, we are stronger together. Learn more at fcpctn.org/DEC. This project is funded under a grant contract with the State of Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services.
Spring is in the air, and so are fresh new savings at Furniture Merchandise Outlet, FMO, right here in Tullahoma. Ready to refresh your space? From living rooms and bedrooms to dining sets and mattresses, FMO has the styles you want at prices you'll love. No long waits, no sticker shock. Just take it home today. Visit them at 105 North Jackson Street in Tullahoma or browse anytime at fmotn.com. Furniture Merchandise Outlet, where spring cleaning turns into a spring upgrade.
Busy day? No time to feel sick? At Complete Express Care in Winchester, we know life moves fast. And so do we. With short wait times, skilled providers, and walk-in convenience, we make getting quality care easy. Whether it's the flu, a sprain, or a last-minute physical, we're here to help you get back to what matters most. Locally trusted, open daily, and ready to care for you. Complete Express Care, right here at 1211 Dinah Shore Boulevard in Winchester. Call 931-967-6669 today to learn more.
It's time for a local news break from the 931 Go News Center.
The Franklin County Rebelettes continue to showcase both their offensive firepower and areas for growth after splitting their latest district contests. Franklin County rallied for a dramatic 15-13 victory over Cannon County before falling 11-3 to Marshall County the following day. The Rebelettes lineup proved once again it can compete with anyone, but early defensive miscues and slow starts proved costly against the Tigerettes, who scored 7 runs in the first 2 innings. Head coach Kelly Kennedy pointed to those early mistakes as the difference. Despite the setback, Franklin County remains a dangerous team at the plate, with standout hitters including Montgomery, Marshall, Carter, and Hardison leading the charge. The Rebelettes now stand at 9-10 overall and 3-2 in district play. Meanwhile, the Franklin County Rebels secured their 10th win of the season Tuesday night with a dramatic 2-1 walk-off victory over Giles County in 8 innings. After surrendering the tying run in the 7th, the Rebels regrouped in extras to claim the district win. Leighton Jones sparked the offense with a 2-out triple in the 5th and scored on an RBI single from Aiden Hoddesy. Avery Jackson delivered 6 shutout innings with 7 strikeouts, while Cameron Denton earned the win in relief. Franklin County improves to 10-7 overall and 3-1 in district play and will travel to Smyrna tonight for a 6 p.m. first pitch. In local news, construction along Bible Crossing in Winchester is approaching the western intersection with Myers Road. City officials advise motorists to expect delays due to the increased activity and flagging operations, and non-local drivers are encouraged to avoid the area when possible. Additionally, the City of Tullahoma has opened its search for a new city administrator following the resignation of Jason Quick. Interim Administrator Jeff Dameron will continue serving while the board seeks qualified applicants for the position. For more local news and sports updates, visit 931go.com. Stay informed and stay connected to your community with ESPN Radio Winchester.
This is Daryl from Columbus, previously from the Paul Feinbaum Show.
I check in scissor hands. I'm the wrong guy to ask, but what's the secret to a good haircut?
A good haircut makes you feel confident. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, when you get that haircut, you're going to walk out that barbershop, you're going to look in the mirror, and you're going to be like, yeah, that's it. And you're going to tip the barber.
The Paul Feinbaum Show, weekdays at 3 Eastern on the ESPN app and on the SEC Network.
This segment of the starting lineup is brought to you by the Furniture Merchandise Outlet in Tullahoma. Tune into the starting lineup with the FMO Facebook feed every weekday. Now, back to Joe and Chewy.
Back here on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340, 1069 WCDT Winchester.
Before we jump in, I did want to say that we did have some comments in the break. Sam Davidson says, Joe, you can join us whenever you would like. Brett Crabtree says, the victim mentality doesn't look good on you, Joe. Suck it up. And then Christopher Lambert came in, jumping in, telling us about, at the gym now, I am a beast, the man, alpha life. If you don't lift, your wife has a girlfriend. Hashtag no excuses training.
Lambo, right. Are you listening to David Goggins?
Okay, here's an actual. So I made a gym playlist. Yeah, waiting for you to win, by the way. And I don't know what to put in there because I don't understand do I want to listen to music?
He created a gym playlist. It's empty.
Yeah, it's got, I think, like 6 songs right now.
Okay.
And I don't know what to put in there. Do I put in like music that I like to listen to, or do I put in music that will invoke the emotions to drive me to push myself? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I put a lot of like doom music in there. I figured that would help, but I don't know.
I don't listen to a lot of music at the gym. I do listen to more like David Goggins and Jocko Willink and that type of stuff, the motivational YouTube videos and things like that. But I have a feeling that would you'd be listening to it and just like shaking your head. It would kind of work the opposite way for you. So I don't know. You and I are wired a little bit different.
I would listen to those and be like, hey, he just sounds exhausted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Why is he so angry?
Yeah, I'd be like, I don't want to be like that. You know?
Give you anxiety just listening to it.
All right.
Oh, man. Well, while he gets them on the phone, I will let you know, we are fueled by Loco Coffee, and I got to be honest, this morning show probably would not happen if it was not for Loco Coffee. If you've been listening enough, you know that we're wired up pretty good, or at least sometimes we are. And that's because we do drink Loco Coffee, and at least I do. Chewy's not much of a coffee drinker, but if he did, it would be Loco. Me, it is like, unironically, to steal a word from Chewy, it's my favorite coffee. Period. End of story.
He puts a literal passion into his coffee.
All right.
We got Jeff on the line.
Jeff on the line.
Good morning.
How are things over at Poultry Electric and Pro Hardware, my friend?
Well, it's good. It's good.
Did you have a good Easter?
I don't know how good I am from a benefit from my sister that happened at the Oasis Saturday night, and then Easter yesterday, and sit and talk to everybody in the county, and so. But I'm here. It's Monday morning. I'm here and blessed, and I want to give a shout out to everybody in the county. We had a benefit. My sister has had breast cancer, and we had a benefit for her Saturday night at the Oasis.
Yeah.
And thanks Scotty Steele for opening his doors at the Oasis and having a place. You know, we had a cruise in, then we had solid auction, and then we had an auction, and then people was bringing stuff by. So, in the hardware store here, you see it daily. You know, you donate something for people that walk in the door that's having some kind of benefit going on. But then when it comes down and hits you on your home side,
yeah,
it changes the game, you know. And you would not believe the people of Franklin County, how good of a heart the people of Franklin County really do have.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we've seen that in a lot of different ways, whether it be, you know, everything that's gone on with Grayson Baggett or the NNK Foundation or a lot of the different causes that are going on in and around the town. I mean, that's one of the things that I love about our community is how it supports the people within it. You know, it is really something special to see.
I'll tell you what has changed with me at the hardware store, you know, and of course we've been here since the 89 or 90 with Tommy Steele and Donna Steele and Scotty, you know, and then I came to work for him after that, and I don't want to tell a field, at least twice a week, sometimes 5 times a week, you know, you donate something to the hardware store to something that's going on in the county. It may not be a sick person, it may be somebody having a fundraiser for the basketball team, or but you know, there's all kinds of fundraisers, and let's just be honest with it, okay? I always give something, okay?
Yeah.
But you know, when you give something 5 times a week, you're thinking, or Jeff is thinking, man, that gets hit hard every day, you know, and but I always do it. I always do it just because I feel like I don't know, shouldn't say obligated. I'm the local business of the town. People support me. That's how we keep the hardware store open. So I don't feel good if I don't donate something, you know.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying I'm donating $500 every time. It may be as cheap as a $25 pocket knife, you know. But I give something every one of them that comes in the door. And now that I've had this and it's hit on my home side, I won't have those thoughts anymore. You know what I mean? Because I sat and watched the whole community of Franklin County come together, and they really, really supported this benefit for my sister, and it has blown my mind and just opened a whole window of opportunity for me saying there is some good people in this county. You know it?
Yeah. No, that's
There
tremendous.
really is.
That's tremendous.
So, on the hardware side here, it's Monday. It's a little cooler outside, right?
Right.
So do we need to be working in the yard? Is that what we need to do? No rain?
I think that it's just cool enough to where, I mean, it's kind of nice. It's pleasant, you know. You're not getting melted out there.
Yes. So let's think about those outside projects, and what keeps coming to my mind is I'm terrible at it, but Benjamin will paint. You're not going to want to paint outside. You're not going to want to stain outside when it's 100-degree weather.
Right.
Well, I'm not going to want to do it when it's 92-degree weather, you know. So on these days, it's got a little, the humidity's down. It's in the 70s and 80s. Let's come and grab some Benjamin Moore paint. Let's go outside and paint whatever's got to be done. I've got 3 outside doors right now that need to be painted. I ought to be doing that. I ought to be practicing what I preach. But I probably won't do it. I'll procrastinate it. I've got a deck outside that still needs to be stained. I took the stain home last year. Even my garage outside, you know, that my wife parks her car in, I don't ever get to park mine in there. She's got enough room to pour her car in there, and then we got the rest of it jumped up with everything else, you know. But we need to do that painting like that. And then don't forget appliances. It's a great time to buy appliances. Adam and Christy's got all your appliances there, so give me a call for anything you need there. Electrical, plumbing, and irrigation. It's going to be getting hot. Right now it's the time to think about irrigation, rainbird irrigation. So come in here and look at that. Right now all your weeds is running wild. We're selling, you know, a lot of the total vegetation killer RM43. And if you can't, you know, if the RM43 is a little bit on the high side for you, we've got another product here that is a cost-saving deal and does a really good job on killing weeds also. So we got all your pump-up garden sprayers here. So whatever you need in that line, come and see us. I don't know. What else?
Well, if you don't want to paint but you've got some of that crud that's on the side of your house. You can spray it with that stuff.
Yes,
That
yes,
stuff is
we've
good.
got house cleaner. We've got house cleaner. Spray and forget stuff, All right, Adam is saying he's got a washer and dryer. Adam and Christy here has got a pair, washer and dryer pair. You have to buy the pair to get this price. $8.99 for the washer dryer pair.
Oh wow.
Yep. So if you need a washer and dryer pair, we've got them for $8.99.
That's tremendous. All right.
Ultra
where can I
Electric
find
Pro
you?
Hardware. Ultra Electric Pro Hardware, 1991 Short Springs Road. Call us at 967-7351.
All right, Scott. Jeff. Sorry, I was thinking about Scotty.
You think about Scotty, wouldn't you?
Well, what I was going to say is, we're praying for your sister and your family and everything, and tell Scotty if you talk to him before we do that we really appreciate him.
Hey, thank y'all so much. Y'all have a good day.
All right, brother. You too. All right, that is Jeff over at Poultry Electric and Pro Hardware, and it's tough because life goes on, right? Stuff like that happens. Your family is going through it. They've got challenges, and you got to show up at work. You got to keep going. And, when you pull together an event like that and the community comes out like they did the other night, that's tremendous. And she's in our thoughts and prayers. You want to turn it back around and go out to Heath?
Sure.
Think we got time? Probably not, huh?
We cut it close.
Let's save him till the top of the hour.
Okay.
I'll do this in the meantime. So AC has been texting. AC's new listener to the show, but
oh yeah, that's right. He called in. Yeah.
He's got some strong opinions. He's gone back. He started getting caught up with the show a little bit. He's gone back and he's listened to some older stuff. And I just want to put this out there. AC says that Sammy D is a punk.
Oh
yeah. And the fact that he stole you away, he does not seem happy about that.
Goodness. All right.
Also, he said that the big dog should have jumped in the water and grabbed all the fish. He said that his high blood pressure would have scared him all away, though, probably. He's got that thing on he's got like the pacemaker. And what I always thought is if we stick him in the water and like get it to go off, maybe he'll shock the fish.
Oh, yeah. That's
just put him in the water like a bobber and then poke him real hard.
Like Homer Simpson when he dipped the thing in the water and all the fish came up. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
It's a good technique.
Yeah.
Lambo jumped back in talking about how he likes to listen to some David Goggins. His gym bangers lately have been Gangster on Wheels. It's actually faith-based Christian motivation rap.
Oh.
Look up the track Power by Gangster on Wheels. Interesting.
All right.
I didn't even know that was a genre.
Well, good job by Lambo, I guess. I'll have to check that out once I get back in the gym, all on my own, because apparently Chewy's not coming with me, at least not yet, because I haven't figured out a way to officially get him in there.
We'll work on it.
He was banking on me finishing the top 10. He wants to get in the gym because, and if people haven't noticed, so since he turned 30, it's been weighing heavily on his mind.
Really
and he's been trying to come up with a reason, a way to get in the gym. And maybe that's what it is I know that you're purposefully trying to get in the gym, and after you betrayed me, I called up Arizona and said, hey, I need to lose this bet on purpose so that Chewy can't go to the gym.
Because die of heart failure.
Yes, playing the long con. The Sting ain't got nothing on me. Just called him up and totally torpedoed my own bracket.
Just to take him down, that's some strong revenge. You care, dude.
All right, we'll be back in hour number 2 in just a few moments. Hey, we've got the Pledge of Allegiance is back this morning from Deckard Elementary. Yeah, I'm excited about that. Halloween.
Oh yeah,
he's wielding a knife, huh? It kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
going around stabbing people in the back. I like your shirt. It's very ironic. All right, hour number 2 coming up next. This is the starting lineup. You're listening to ESPN Radio 1340, 1069 WCDT Winchester.
Spring is a season of renewal, and at High Point Health System, with Ascension St. Thomas, your health is always in season. From routine checkups to advanced care, their dedicated team is here to help you feel your best today and every day. compassionate care backed by the strength of Ascension St. Thomas. This spring, take a moment for your health. Learn more or find a provider at highpointhealthsystem.com. High Point Health System with Ascension St. Thomas. Caring for you for every season of life.
With the latest from around FCHS and Rebel Nation.
The Rebel Report, every weekday, presented by Oaklawn Baptist Church, right here on ESPN Radio Winchester.
Welcome back to your Rebel Report, where we ended the week with some big wins from many of our Franklin County teams and athletes.
It was a great week to be a Rebel, and we'll start with the Franklin County boys soccer team. The Rebels picked up 2 big district wins this week over Columbia and Warren County.
A solid week for the soccer team as they now head into some rest over spring break. They'll be back in action after the break when they host Lincoln County and look to continue their district win streak.
The Rebelette softball team also had a strong week, picking up 2 conference wins over Lawrence County and Giles County.
Spring break won't be slowing them down, though. The Rebelettes will have a busy coming up week as they hit the road to Cannon County on Monday and Marshall County on Tuesday.
Our Rebel baseball team joined in on the winning this week as well, contributing 2 more district wins as they swept Marshall County in their series.
The Rebels will be hosting a tournament this weekend and hope to start spring break with a few more solid performances on their home field.
In track and field news, our track team finished second this past weekend at Riverdale with several top finishes.
We especially want to recognize Brandon Walker for setting a new school record in the high jump with an incredible jump of 6 feet 6 inches.
We also want to congratulate the 4x4 relay team of Jaden Smith, Joshua Smith, Austin Heath, and Alex Demencio for setting a new school record with a time of 8 minutes and 39 seconds.
Congratulations to our new school record holders and to all of our Rebel athletes for a great week.
That's all for this week's Rebel Report. Have a great and safe spring break, Franklin County.
And as always, go Rebels.
Located at 108 Memorial Drive in Winchester, Oaklawn Baptist Church is a place where families grow, faith is strengthened, and students are encouraged to live with purpose, which is why we're proud to sponsor the Rebel Report. Our mission is simple: introduce people to Jesus and build strong families through God's Word. Join us this weekend for Sunday school at 10 and worship to follow at 11. Learn more online at oaklawnbaptistchurch.org.
You're listening to ESPN Radio 1340 AM WCDT and 106.9 FM W295 AV Winchester, Southern Middle Tennessee sports leader, serving Franklin County for over 75 years.
Why choose More Courtney Funeral Home? Well, they're a 5th-generation funeral home taking care of the people of Franklin County since 1905. They're committed to serving you, dedicated to providing personalized, professional, and compassionate service to help lighten your burden and help you out during these difficult times. More Courtney Funeral Home, 300 First Avenue Northwest in Winchester, 967-2222. More Courtney Funeral Home.
Got a project to tackle or a party to plan? Skip the stress and rent it instead at Reliable Rental in Winchester. From tools and heavy-duty machines to chairs, tables, and event essentials, they've got what you need to get the job done right. Whether it's work or a weekend celebration, Reliable Rental makes it easy. Stop by 2433 Deckard Boulevard in Winchester or check out everything they offer online at ReliableRentalFC.com. Reliable Rental. When you need it, they've got it.
When life hits you hard, you need someone who will stand up and fight back for you. Andy Davis, attorney at law, serves Southern Middle Tennessee in personal injury, criminal defense, family law, bankruptcy, and more. Call today to set up your free consultation, where you'll get clear answers, honest guidance, and a plan built around your needs. Online at southerninjurylaw.com. This is an advertisement. Andy Davis, attorney at law, responsible for content. No representation is made that the quality of legal services is greater than that of other lawyers.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN Radio Winchester studio, it's the starting lineup. Now, here are your hosts, Joe Abraham and Chewy.
Hour number 2 here on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340, 1069 WCDT Winchester. Joe Abraham alongside Chewy.
Fueled by Loco Coffee.
Oh, man. It was a tough weekend. Got portrayed by the fish, got portrayed by Chewy, and got betrayed by my bracket. And here's the thing. It's not final yet, right? But it's pretty much dead set that I'm going to finish outside of the top 10. I'm sitting at number 10 right now in the bracket. And there is a guy who's got Michigan. I think maybe the only way that I could finish within the top 10 is if Michigan loses in the final.
Who knows, though? That might happen.
Yeah, it could, I suppose. But I'm really upset about it. Yeah. E-Rex Picks is number 15 right now, and when Michigan wins the title, he's going to pass me.
All right, well, let's jump into this call with Deckard. Good morning, Deckard.
Good morning, WCDT. Did you miss us?
We did.
We did.
Did you have a good spring break?
We had a wonderful spring break.
All right, well,
Enjoyed the sunshine, the warm weather, all the things. So we're ready. We're happy to be back.
Oh, well, I'm happy that you're back, too. We missed you guys, and I need a really good, strong pledge on this Monday morning. We're dragging a little bit out here.
All right, well, we've got Miss Kaylee's class ready to make that happen for you, second grade.
All right, let's hear it.
Good morning, Franklin County. Please join Deckard Elementary as we
stand, salute, and pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all.
Now that's what I'm talking about. Excellent pledge.
That was wonderful. All right, I got a joke this morning. Say it loud. Tell me your name.
I'm Bernardo, and I have the joke. Why do scientists trust in atoms?
I don't know.
Because they make up everything.
That was a
Good
cute
job,
one.
Bernardo.
I like that one. Well, y'all have a wonderful day out there, okay, Deckard?
Thank you. Y'all too.
See ya.
Bye.
All right, so back here on the show, Chewy, to start hour number 2, speaking of the kiddos, summer's coming up right around the corner, and one of the things that I wanted to talk about, you guys touched on it on Friday. Somebody dropped it in the chat. And what I would like is, and we'll see if we can get the chat to engage in this conversation some. Jump on over to the ESPN Winchester Facebook page and get in on the FMO Facebook feed. What I would like is to get the chat's thoughts on this whole community center thing. It is not the first time that it's been brought up. It won't be the last time. And I know that a few years ago, there was conversation of like an indoor athletic training facility that even went to like get voted on, and it didn't end up happening for whatever reason. But conversations like these, they matter. And this is how, stuff can get done. If there is really a need for a community center, and I liked Johnny's position on it last week, is we have certain places that have, like we've got the pool, we've got the tennis courts, we've got places that have basketball courts, and if people are using these things on a regular basis and there is a need, a desire to put a facility like that in place, there's expenses that go along with it. But if there's a strong enough desire from the community, then that's something that could be done. And two, it doesn't have to turn into like the Scooter Syndicate running the community center. It doesn't have to be their HQ or anything like that. It can be something that everybody can enjoy.
Right.
Not just the scooter tutors. Chewy, from your positioning, I wanted to get your thoughts on a community center. Yeah. I mean, growing up in this town and seeing the kids, the youth of this town and stuff, and how they grew up around you, and just your perspective. I mean, what are your thoughts on, I hear this thrown out there a lot, there's nothing for kids to do. Do you think that that's true, a true statement?
I think it's a true statement to people who are used to not having to think about certain amenities like that. I don't think it's – I think that as a blanket statement is just blatantly false. But I don't blame someone for assuming that that's true because, maybe you come from an area where there's just more happening in that realm. Like you said, what I grew up here, I remember specifically, going to Adventure Mountain. We even had a little mini golf course out there, but the pool was a huge part of that. But often what we would do is we would leave and go to like the Manchester Rec Center or like I went to school at Swanee for a little while, so I would go up to like the Swanee Rec Center. You know what I mean? Like there were like a lot of these, it's like we have a lot, and what we have is very, very good. And I think we need to draw more attention to the things that we already do have because they are being used. We've got multiple hiking trails. We've got the pool up there, like you said. We've got the tennis court. We've got Adventure Mountain. There are kids' daycare places, even on like this street. We've got Good Game Arcade, which is like, what? But I think I understand when people are like they want like a center specifically relegated to this task, like being a safe place for like any kid can come here, any family can just come here, and they don't have to think about it. And I don't think that's necessarily blatantly lacking, but a dedicated space in which it's not really anything else, I do understand that.
I think that, one of the things that I consider is, we've got the swimplex, we've got parks, we've got gyms even. There's a lot of churches with gyms and things like that. And there are different like leagues, and there's VBS for kids to get involved in. But I think what a lot of parents struggle with is, the sidewalks in our area, because stuff is kind of spread out like that. It's hard to go from like the swimplex to one of these other places.
Right.
And it's also hard to do it without kind of adult supervision. And the challenge a lot of people have nowadays is you need two incomes. Mm-hmm. And so mom can't just take the kids to the pool for the day while dad is off at work in a lot of cases. Mm-hmm. For a lot of families, that's just not doable. And so what used to be workable in having these things in different places, now what you want, or what you've got, is people who want a single place for their kids to go, that they know that they're going to be safe. They're not out roaming the streets and all that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. But they can do multiple things there. I look at college campuses, and Johnny was just talking about how Tennessee Tech has one of these, and I know that Alabama had one of these, and there are a lot of places. But they have these rec centers, and they have massive gyms with the curtains that split them down, and you can have multiple things. They've got tennis courts, indoor tennis courts, and now you've got pickleball. Racquetball used to be a huge thing, where you got the indoor racquetball courts, basketball courts, all of these things. And then you've got the pool, and then you've got a gym, like weight room, and then you've got all of the rock climbing walls and all of these things in one place.
Kind of like a YMCA.
Yeah, kind of like a YMCA. But what I also consider is, well, what are some of the other struggles, conversations that we're having within the community about things that we need or could have? And I go back to the library. Mm-hmm. There are some things, and I just want to paint a picture for you. What if it was a community center that was built out, a massive complex that was built out? And you say, well, where would we get space for that? Well, there's a football field that we've talked about recently. The library could be in that building. Mm-hmm. you could have a lot of the things that we've talked about in that building, in that one facility. And, man, it sounds really, really cool. I don't know how you would do it, whether it would just be open to whoever and whatever. I think that if we're charging to use the pool, we should be able to charge to use this community center or whatever it is. And maybe there's some sort of a membership process where if you're above a certain income level, then it's, you know, you have to pay X amount. And if you're below a certain income level, then, you know, it's either unpaid or you get some sort of stipend or paid for by the state. I don't know. That's above my head, right? But it would be really cool. To your point, though, what does it go back to? And I hope people are getting involved in the chat. Like, what do people want? What is the reasoning? Is it because we don't have the things, or is it because the things are spread out? Because I think we do have the things. They're just all in different places.
Right. And I think you're sort of hitting it where, you know, maneuverability becomes a thing. But, you know, you make a good point. I didn't even think about the fact that, yeah, like all of my friends who have kids now, they both work full-time jobs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think there is not only a need for just like family resource centers and that kind of thing. I think also in particular, it's a place where we know our children will be safe and not have to hover over them. I think also is, you know, something that a lot of people are looking forward to or would want, you know, like just and again, but like you said, we have these places. It's just sort of spread out and more singularly. It's not in any official, not in the same official capacity as a community center would be.
Right.
You know what I mean? And maybe for some people psychologically, you know, that assurance, there's a gap. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Where this is a private business versus, oh, this is a county thing. There's different, like in their head, there might be different assurances there. Not saying that there are, but I'm saying psychologically for some parents, that is a very big factor. Do you know what I mean? About holding who's accountable for your children while you're being left at a certain area. Brett did jump in saying we need a program. We need to support our kids' programs, teams, etc. It seems like a large group wants the county to do something for kids, but that's the same large group that isn't willing to give back to the community. Also, Clint Powers did jump in saying, "Good morning, brothers. Just got here. How's Joe's bracket? Big dog senses love." But on the topic of the community center, I think maybe it is about locality. You know what I mean? Not having to sort of plan and go around, but I don't think that's a reason. Like if we made a community center with all those things, would that invalidate the rest of the opportunities around town? I don't really think so. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So here's the challenge, and this is when it goes back to like long-term planning and things, the conversations that we've had about the schools. We got so many people that, you know, I don't want to shut down this school, or we need to make sure that we've got schools in different areas for kids because it's easier for them to access. Well, okay, but you can't have your cake and eat it too. If you're going to have that many more schools than you need, which right now we have more schools than we need based on the number of students that we've got, and that's reflective in our expenses. So what we're challenged with now is there are costs to maintaining those buildings, right? And instead of being able to pay the teachers with that money, now we're putting that money into buildings. And so then you look at the other schools districts around us and you say, well, why can they pay their teachers more? Well, because they've done a better job managing the resources that go to the building. And we ultimately are putting too much money into buildings and not enough into the people, right? And so it may seem like a small problem on the front end, but what that ultimately turns into, we got too many buildings, turns into, well, our kids aren't getting the level of education that some other students in other areas are, because the other areas can come in here and come get our best teachers and pay them more money to drive up the road and teach up and out of town, somewhere out of town. And so now we're constantly replacing teachers or coaches, and what that turns into is, again, a culture problem. Then your culture depletes because instead of having teachers that have been here for 30 years, You've got young teachers who come in, they get their first job or whatever the case is. They start going, they're really good, and then they get pulled out, and they go somewhere else that's going to pay them more money. And it's this constant cycle, and it all stems from buildings. Something completely unrelated hits both on the level of kids' education, hits on degradation of the culture, all of these things. So in an attempt to save the community's culture by saving the schools, you're actually ultimately hurting it, because these teachers come in, they teach for a few years, and then they leave. And that's not always the case. I know that. We've got tons of people, tons of great teachers who have been in the district because they choose to be in the district for a long, long time. What I'm saying is it's a byproduct. And to say that other teachers and students haven't left the area for certain perceived opportunities, whether it be a few extra bucks or whatever the case is, it's a reality. It does happen.
So you're saying we need to sort of reallocate how we spread ourselves out first before building the rec center? Like the rec center won't solve all the problems we may be thinking they are?
Yeah, so what I'm saying is what we have done is when we wanted a pool, we built a pool.
Right.
If we want fields, we have a ton of fields. We have so much space. You go over to Franklin County High School, and there are so many fields over there, which is a good thing, but it's also a bad thing, and in that you gotta mow it, and so you gotta weigh, like, do we need all of these fields? What if? And again, I go back to talking about managing the assets that you've got. Alabama has an indoor facility that's turfed, and then they've got a turf practice field as well. Some of the reason is because they play on turf at times, and they want to have an area that they can practice on. Some of it is so that they can practice indoors in case the weather gets bad. But some of it is because you can do multiple things on that piece of ground, on that turf, and it doesn't wear the grass down. Right, and so then it saves on maintenance. It also cuts down on expenses for other programs having to use them. So I circle back around to, in looking at where we want to be 5-10 years from now, do we want the pool to be separate from a gym or from tennis courts or from whatever? Do we want the park the way that it is that model working? And a lot of people will say no as far as Adventure Mountain goes. It sounds bad to say it, but I've been up there and taken my young kids up there, and it's tough because you get unsupervised kids up there blowing up firecrackers in the slides, and nobody does anything about it. You get kids up there spray painting and doing all this stuff. I witnessed a mother with her kids, and her kids were blowing up firecrackers in the slide. They were like 14, 15 years old, and they were lighting them and throwing them down the slide. And she was there. And I spoke up to them about it and said something to them about it, and they didn't care. So I made a phone call to the authorities and had them come up there. And I don't want to be that guy, but I'm not going to allow people who don't care to destroy our community's property. That's not their slide. It's everybody's slide. And my kids were trying to play, and they're making it a dangerous situation. What are we doing? Mm-hmm. So that's another aspect of it, keeping up the facilities, monitoring the facilities, all of the things. And are we just throwing money away if we continue to just, the playground got destroyed again, let's build another one. Mm-hmm. This is dangerous. Well, of course it's dangerous because nobody takes care of it, and somebody snapped the thing off, and so now there's a metal pole sticking up out of the ground. Let's replace it, or let's just get rid of it. We'll just get rid of it. And that's what keeps happening is now we, and it's not a Darrell Jolly and the Franklin County problem as far as managing the facilities. It's literally every time they try and replace something, it gets broken or destroyed or whatever the case is. So the upkeep of this stuff is expensive. But what do we want it to look like long term? Do we want all that stuff to be located up there on the hill, right above the the lake, or would that property be better utilized for something else? You know, there's that property right there on the boulevard next to the annex building.
I think there's a few avenues that are all viable, you know, like paving and making like walkways for the rec center area up there, like you said, or switching over to maybe the boulevard using the old football field, or maybe even knocking down the annex building and just starting over next to the college over there.
But ultimately, and this goes back to, and this is why I want to have the conversation. I want people to get involved in the conversation, because it's not, you can't just snap your fingers and then poof, it's there, right? So then how are we going to pay for all this stuff?
That was the one point I was going to ask as well, because when we talk about these kinds of facilities, it's not only just building the facilities and then maintaining them, it's also like hiring people to monitor it, like you said. It's hiring not just the groundskeeper, but like the people who sit and watch all day long. The janitors, you got to hire the people who are, you know, monitoring, you know, the lights, and you have like there's a large expense that's a permanent expense too. Like you will be hiring people for this until it's closed down.
And it's an investment. But like, okay, so it's not the first time that things like this have been done. You look at the pool. Tullahoma a while back built their like swimplex thing out, their big pool area out, and they charge admission. And you know, for the first few years, that thing was crazy. It was, and even now, still with the summer. But part of it was where they built it. Now they have tons of like parks and community centers and the same type of things that we all have. But they have, I think they have multiple actually community centers up there. They got multiple park areas. Yet when they stuck a pool where they stuck it, kids and families and stuff like that, they traveled and they paid the fee and they got in and they were able to pay that thing off, as far as what my understanding is. And so I go back to, is there a plan? Is there a strategy that we can come up with? Because I think if you were a private business, and this is a challenge with the money, I think that if you're a private business and you said, okay, this town says that they want a community center, we could build all of these things, just make it gorgeous. We could charge admission. If you're a business, do you think that you could recoup the millions of dollars that it would take to build something like that? I don't know.
I would argue probably not.
I don't know. Yeah. And then you're talking about, too, like you said, having to pay staff, having to pay maintenance, having to upkeep all of it. It would be really, really tough in a small town like this. So the only other option is, okay, is there government funding out there where the city can do it? If it can't be private and we're going to make it a public thing, which is probably what the only solution for it to be, well, we got to find, is there a grant out there? Is there some kind of money? Is there some kind of donation or something like that we can get? I don't know.
There's a phenomenon, though, isn't there, like, you know, where they want to build, like, an audience center or something, or, like, a convention center. Like, it's really cool. Like, it's like certain cities will take the loss on a convention center because of what the convention center invites.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, I mean, is that all? But can that apply, though, to a more, I don't know, personalized, more singularized rec center like that? Does that also apply? Does it apply to every county building, like, when it comes to those kinds of things?
So Manchester built their not their rec center, their the Manchester Coffee County Conference Center up there, and it was actually, to me, it was kind of an insane situation. You had a lot of people who were constantly complaining about how much money the place lost, and it would lose a few $100,000. I think I don't remember the numbers. It would lose money every year. Okay. The difference, though, is with all of the things that it would bring in basketball tournaments. It would bring in, like, part of the whole situation regarding Bonnaroo and all the things, like, they would have their meetings there. It brought, they did an economic study on the tourism dollars that building brought in, and it was like $20 million a year or something like that.
Really?
Something insane.
So it paid for itself a long time ago.
Yeah, so because, well, yes and no. The the building directly lost money, but how the building brought money into the community made the community in sales tax and all the other things millions of dollars. But they literally, they were unhappy with it, and I think that they I don't know what they did to it. I heard about it a while back. I think that they put up a thing where they were going to shut it down or transfer it to transfer ownership of it or something like that. I can't remember. I'd have to get in contact with people involved in the process. I kind of put that whole thing behind me. But I do remember it was every year. It was this big thing where it was like, oh, it's losing us $200,000 or it's losing us $100,000 or whatever. It was losing us pennies, and they were so short-sighted that they did not see the impact of everything that came through those doors, and how the people then, when they came to town, would then go around and they'd spend money and they'd go to Jiffy Burger and they'd eat there and all of these things, and all of that would increase tax revenue. So I think that there is a way if we wanted to get it done, but it's got to be just more than, we get a lot of people who jump in and they say, I wish we had that, or I wish we had this, or I wish we had something other than a Mexican restaurant. And then nobody actually ever does anything themselves. They're just waiting for somebody else to do it. And they say, well, if I complain enough, maybe somebody will do it. You know, and that's not how it works. You can't rely on somebody else all the time. Maybe help come up with a plan. Don't come up with the problem. Come up with the solution.
Right.
Everybody knows we got problems. There's problems everywhere.
It sounds like regardless of whatever is picked, there will be a certain amount of give and take. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, there's always going to be, yeah.
Especially when Winchester's sort of in that, we're going through a bit of a growth spurt. You know, we've got new businesses coming in. We've got a lot of attention on us, especially from tourism and summertime dollars and that kind of thing. So it sounds like there's a bit of an inevitability when it comes to sort of upgrading some of these facilities to a degree. I think it would be wise on us as a public to do it with thought. Do you know what I mean? And I think Winchester's doing that. Specifically Winchester, I know they're very, very particular about what they let in, who they ask things about. You know, they want to preserve the Winchester culture as much as possible.
Yeah.
And I don't think that it's anybody's intention to, you know, push that away. I mean, like that's half the charm of this. The majority of the charm of this place is because of who we are.
Right.
And
well,
it sounds like regardless of whatever's going to happen, it's going to be an issue of some kind. So it might as well take the lesser issue, though, right?
Yeah. Well, again, going back to the core of the conversation is it because people think that kids don't have anything to do? I mean, do we have a facility problem where we don't have enough? Because I go to these places, I go to the park, and there's nobody there. I go to the tennis courts, and there's nobody there. Very rarely. I hate you both.
You know what? I think you have a point, though. There maybe there's a concerted effort to just bring more attention to what is available to kids around here. Do you know what I mean?
Right. I don't think it's maybe a facility problem. Maybe it's like an organization and promotion problem.
Maybe that's what it is, because I like, it's just sort of, we have it all. It's just spread out a little bit more, like you said. I'd be curious in the chat if anyone in particular. Here we go. Katie says, there are more local businesses in FC owned by transplants than there are FC born and bred. The transplants want to keep the FC culture of the past, too. It's why transplants moved here. For somebody who's lived in this county, I don't understand why new people is always such a bad thing, personally, which I understand is a controversial take. But it's just my opinion. You know, I think diversity is good. I mean, think about this. Genetic diversity alone, it's like how we spot, like as a species, is how we thrive. If you are singular in your, both in your culture and people without any external influence whatsoever, I think it's how you stagnate. But that's not this conversation. I think maybe it is on us a little bit as a city and as a people to inform each other on, hey, this is available, and hey, this is available. I mean, they did it with the shop local thing a few years ago, and now look at us. We've got an entire downtown that's like almost all local.
my concern is we've got all these people that talk about wanting a community center. My concern is it's kind of like that gym membership. You know, there's a lot of people who, man, come the beginning of the year, I really want to sign up for that gym membership. I'm going to get in shape. Right. And they're so committed to it. And I think we have a lot of people who are like, oh, yeah, we really need a community center. That'd be great. I would totally use it all the time. And they would for the first month. The place would be packed.
Right.
And then nobody would use it anymore, or only the kids would use it. So if there was a center like that, how often would you use it? What would you use it for? What do you want that we don't already have?
That's a good point. It would be nice to have like a more large conversation when it comes to this versus like just asking the public, what do you think we don't have? And then going around the county and saying, looking for those things. Do you know what I mean? Like, well, we don't have this. And it's like, well, actually we do. You know what I mean? And I think it's a good, maybe it's on us. Maybe we should start doing that as a county. That should be part of our culture, is to, like, you know, promote some of the hard, because there's lots of people around town who work very hard and have open places for kids. You know what I mean?
Right.
So maybe we needed, it's a more personal thing.
Right. Well, and two, and we'll get a break in here, is the question, well, we don't have anything for kids to do? Because that's another aspect of it. Well, if you don't feel like we have something for kids to do, maybe you're just not informed as to what there is for kids to do.
Right.
And there needs to be, you know, that information needs to be out there. But is it something that you want? Like, what are we asking here? What is the problem? Is it because you don't have somewhere to play basketball? Is it because your kids don't have somewhere to play basketball? Is it because you don't have something to do with your kids? Like, during the summer, you don't have a place to drop them off and you know, be okay that they're there and they're just sitting around the house all day? Like, what is the core? What is the root of the we need a community center conversation? That's what I want to know. And I don't know. You know, it's not. I'm not the one that brought it up. It's a conversation that I see come up in the community all the time. Maybe I need to post in one of those Facebook groups and invite those people to the conversation, because it appears that, and this is how sometimes it goes, you know, we have these conversations at school board meetings, and we have these things where there is an open forum. You can go to the commissioner meetings and all these things, and nobody shows up unless something goes locally viral, and then everybody shows up and they've got an opinion on it for all of 5 minutes. But really, does it actually affect them, or do they just want to keep things the same way? I don't know. I'm trying to give a platform to.
Sure.
If we want a community center, if you want it that bad, if it's that needed, then what does that look like?
That's the key word, is needed. And it's like, are we at the population size and the density for something where I feel like if we really needed it, it would mean that all of the other places are all filled up. Do you know what I mean? Like,
right.
In my head, but I'm not a county commissioner. I'm not an economist. But from a layman, you're asking me, someone who pays taxes in the county, my thing would be, well, if you want to build a community center, it has to be for a good reason, right? And I think there's two reasons. Number one is that you think it will bring in more dollars than it costs, which I get. I don't understand if that's actually true, but, you know, you understand what I'm saying. Or all of the other local amenities for kids and youth and all the programs are literally like they can't accept anyone else.
Right.
For me, that's the key.
So Lisa Clark jumped in. She said the Swimplex introduced a kids tri-camp 5 years ago that has been successful. We have also tried to start a kids week-long sports camp. While the tri-camp took off, it has been slow for the sports camp. I'm open to ideas. And so
that's a great point.
So that's my question is to somebody like Lisa is, you know, these things that you're doing, are they filling up? Are they full? Do you feel like people are taking advantage of them and that you just can't keep up with all the demand? Or is it like, well, we put these things out there and people don't really respond. They say that they want them and then they don't show up.
Right.
Because those are two different issues. Eric Ramos says the Rain Teen Center was a great place for kids to hang out, but sadly they closed down. Had games, watched movies, had dinners, and worship. And to Eric's point,
I remember that place. Yeah.
So you remember that place? I drove by that place all the time. I know on the window it said Rain Teen Center. Had no idea what it was. Didn't know what was inside. Didn't know what it did. I didn't ever hear any kind of promotion for them or anything like that. Didn't hear about any events or any ongoing things that they did. Didn't know. Didn't know if it was a Christian thing. Didn't know if it was not. And guess what? I drive past that place or drove past that place on my way to and from places and was not going. Never took the time to stop in, walk through the door, and say, "What do you guys do?" Because in today's day and age, that's not how it works. We shouldn't all have to go seek out the information as to what they're doing. They should be trying to reach us. And I didn't pull them up on Facebook, didn't do any research into it because, whether it was me being lazy or the fact that I didn't have a teenager yet. But my point is, I didn't know. Didn't know what they did, didn't know what they offered. And if you didn't drive up and down that road and see that place and take the initiative to check it out, then you wouldn't know. But we've got a lot of businesses who, whether they're businesses or whatever, organizations, we got a lot of businesses who do that, who just think that they can put it out there on Facebook and everybody's going to know about it.
Right.
That's frustrating from a marketing and advertising standpoint.
Well, not everyone's as savvy as us. Like, we live in that culture, so it's easy for us to say, hey, that's weird. Why don't you do that, But at the same time, you have a good point. It seems like there seems to be an information issue.
But are these things out there and there's just people don't realize that they're out there? Or are they out there and people do know that they're out there, they just don't take advantage of them? Like, where is the disconnect? So from point A of them getting created to point Z of people actually utilizing them and them being thriving little local businesses or private entities or whatever they are, even if they're public, but being used, where is the disconnect between Lisa starting a sports camp and giving an opportunity for kids to get involved and kids actually enjoying it?
Right.
Somewhere along that, it's either that the demand's not there, people don't know about it, or something. But there's something there that's keeping kids from going to that. And maybe it's even the how the event is organized. I don't know. I don't know.
I will say this. I think everything that you would want out of a community center, Winchester already 100% provides.
I agree. It's somewhere here.
Right. But it is in town. I think maybe it's just we need to do a better job of making the access to that information a little bit easier. Do you know what I mean? And like you said, most people are on dual incomes now. They don't have time to pull over and investigate all the time.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So
we've got a lot of churches with gyms.
How many churches have open door policies that people don't know about?
Yeah, exactly. And we got a lot of them just on in like downtown, around High Street, and they're a lot of times they're in these communities that are surrounded by. There are tons of kids. Mm-hmm. Now, if my kids knew during the summer that they could go up to the gym at one of the churches that is within walking distance of our house, you better believe they would take advantage of it. They'd probably be up there all day long.
Right.
But A, I don't know if they're allowed. B, I don't know if the church would want them there, which is if the door is locked, like, to me, why would you not want people in your building if you're a church? Right? And I get that there's, again, upkeep costs and other things like that, but there is a way to solve that problem. And maybe it's just organizing all of that stuff and coming up with a plan. And I know we got to hit a break. We've been freaking going on this topic forever. But if we had a sports council, I've said this multiple times, if we had some sort of sports council, athletic council that organized this stuff, that got the word out about this stuff and helped promote and helped teach these local organizations how to promote what they've got going on and became the local source for these things, go figure. You might have some people that actually show up sometimes. It's frustrating, though, if we've got facilities that are going unused in the summer months and parents are right up the street. And like me, if those gyms are open and my kids don't know about it or I don't know about it, that's frustrating. Mm-hmm. Because they could be doing something other than sitting on the couch playing video games.
Yeah.
And
again, there are many, Lisa's here. There are many people in the county who work very, very hard and put in a lot of effort for youth and in youth athletics and just keeping kids entertained and out of trouble. And
you know what I think is or hard about the park up on the hill is You can't walk there. It's not close to a lot of houses. Right? So for us, it's within walking distance. I could send the kids up there on their bikes or whatever, but there's no sidewalk over the bridge. They'd have to go for people who don't know, we live kind of in the downtown area, so they could go down that road. The sidewalks are all kind of messed up. They could get to a certain point, but then once they get to the bridge, on the other side of the bridge where the actual park is, there's not any sidewalks, and then they got to go up the hill and all the things. It's kind of like hard for them to get there. Not impossible, but harder.
So maybe we should be doing more of like an infrastructure thing, like a civilian infrastructure. Adding more paths, more walkways, more of that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
I mean, they all play their own parts in them.
Right.
But I think the key is attention, is letting people know about it. I think that's sort of the main thing.
Maybe there's
I like this topic.
Maybe there's a way when we come back. Maybe there's like a summer camp thing.
Maybe.
Where we can even figure out a way to shuttle kids up there. I mean,
it'd be a lot cheaper than a $20 million rec center.
What if there was a way where kids could get picked up and taken over to the Adventure Mountain Park area? You had teachers who were off for the summer, who were kind of in control of the thing. They get brought up there. They can go swimming. They can play basketball. They can play on the tennis courts. They can play at the park. They can do all this stuff.
Like a Winchester-wide summer camp.
And it's supervised by teachers. I don't know. It's just
go
an
to
idea.
Good game one day, go to the pool the other, go to Adventure Mountain another day, like that.
And the stuff up there on the hill, the Adventure Mountain and all that type of stuff is located together. So, the kids could rotate through. 1 minute they're playing on the playground. The next minute they're going over to the swimplex or whatever the case is. But maybe that area, heck, there was a camp. There was a camp where I lived in New York, Western New York, and they built a bridge that crossed the road, went up over the road, and it was so that kids could get from the camp area to the lake area without having to walk on the road.
Right.
It was just a little bridge. But if there was something like that there was a path, a walkway with a bridge that went over the road, for in the summer months, we get a bunch of kids up there, and now they can walk to the swimplex, walk back over to the park area. I don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas here, people.
Let us know in the chat what you think. Hey, shout out to Lisa, though. Lisa, she runs the pool up there. So thanks for jumping in. I appreciate you.
And if you're in charge of one of these places, please don't think that we're being critical of you. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get to the bottom of, if people are complaining, people are asking questions, I'm trying to more figure out what's the problem, and how can we.
Right. Well, you're saying like what you're complaining about already exists. What
yeah.
I mean?
What's the real problem?
Lisa's up here doing sports camps, and she's running the pool that's open all summer. You've got all these other places as well.
And the problem may be in the solution, in the infrastructure, in how it's done and how it's spread out and all that type of stuff. I get all that. I'm just trying to figure out what is it.
Right.
What is the problem? All right. We'll talk about it more when we come back. It is the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester.
The starting lineup with Joe and Chewy is presented by Loco in Winchester. Right here in Winchester, Loco is doing things their own way. From locally roasted Loco coffee to a one-of-a-kind shop experience. It's a place that's built for the Franklin County community. So if you haven't stopped by yet, now's the time. Support local. Drink Loco coffee, fueling Franklin County mornings. Roasted right here in Franklin County. And don't forget to tune into the starting lineup, weekdays from 7 to 9.
Hey folks, I'm Johnny Hand from WCDT, the home for Franklin County athletics. From Friday night football to every big game in between, we're proud to bring you all the action that keeps our community cheering. Want to be part of that excitement? We'd love to talk with you about advertising and other great opportunities to support our local athletes. So give us a call today at 931-967-2201 or stop by the station at 1201 South College Street right here in Winchester. WCDT Winchester. We are Franklin County.
From the 931 Go Weather Center, it's time for an ESPN Radio Winchester weather update presented by Pennett's Pharmacy.
cooling down from our very high summer-like temperatures, but still staying mostly sunny today with a high of 67 degrees and some north winds coming in at just 5 miles per hour. So it's going to be a nice, sunny, and breezy day. Get out there and enjoy it while you enjoy ESPN Radio Winchester 1340 1069.
At Bennett's Pharmacy in Winchester, we're more than a pharmacy. We're your partner in health. Conveniently located at 1201 Dinah Shore Boulevard, we're here to serve you with fast, friendly, and personalized service. Need prescriptions filled? Looking for over-the-counter products? We've got you covered. Plus, enjoy local delivery and expert advice from our caring team. Call us today at 931-967-2777 or stop by Bennett's Pharmacy at 1201 Dinah Shore Boulevard today.
The future of healthcare starts here. The Southern Tennessee Regional Health System, Winchester and Suwannee, are joining the High Point Health System with Ascension St. Thomas, a health network serving communities across the state. We're working together to expand access, improve clinical quality, and keep you close to home throughout your care journey. Your favorite providers aren't going anywhere. It's the same care you know and trust, now with a new name. High Point Health with Ascension St. Thomas. Learn more at highpointhealthsystem.com.
Well, that was an interesting last segment. Let's try that again. Back to Joe Abraham and Chewy. This is the starting lineup on ESPN Radio Winchester.
Back here on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester. Joe Abraham alongside Chewy. We've been talking about, summer's coming up. And the other day, somebody jumped in the chat and said, oh, man, we need a community center. And this conversation's come up before. There's nothing for kids to do in the area and all that type of thing. I don't fully agree with that.
Right.
I think that we've got all the things. They may be in different areas. And I think one of the bigger challenges, Chewy, is keeping up with, because we do have so much that kids can do, keeping up with what is going on where, and parents kind of being aware of that stuff and then knowing how to and being comfortable with engaging in it. Lisa made a post from over at the Swimplex, which I think showed something that was pretty telling. She said the Swimplex introduced a kids tri-camp 5 years ago that has been successful. A lot of people been involved in it, right? We also tried to start a kids week-long sports camp, and the tri-camp took off, but it's been slow for the sports camp. So they are trying to engage with the community.
It's out there.
They're doing, these places are doing things. The Rain Teen Center is another great example of this, where there's something there. The Rain Teen,
they used to.
Right, it used to be there. The Rain Teen Center was there, closed down. Would it have closed down if it was being used?
Mm-hmm.
We talk about supply and demand. If the demand's not there, then what's the point of having any supply? If kids are not going to utilize it, then what are we doing?
I did say in the break, I do think the Swimplex is due for an expansion, but I'm talking about like a separate rec center that's like $20 million. I don't think that's a big thing. And Johnny came in and talked to us, and he was talking about, like you said, basically supply and demand. You have these grand ideas of bringing all these people in, but it's like that really should come after you've run out of space.
Yeah. And he mentioned too in a break the athletic proposal for the athletic center that was going to have, what was it going to have, like basketball courts and turf and track and all the things, is going to be kind of built out, which, again, I love the concept. I think it's amazing. But the proposal and the idea was that if we create this type of place, then we can have basketball tournaments and craft fairs and do all these things. Well, we have 2 beautiful middle schools with gorgeous gyms. We have the high school. We don't do that type of stuff at any of those places. You know, what's the difference outside of maybe the location, and if you had multiple courts in one place where you could have multiple games going on at once? But what's the difference between having a basketball tournament at a middle school versus having a basketball tournament at a community center type of thing?
Yeah.
Like, we have the facilities. The challenge is not the facilities. The challenge is, well, we're not going out and doing that stuff anyway. Now, the argument on the other side is, outside of having all of them in one location, those type of if you're trying to lure somebody in to do a tournament or hold an event or do something special like that, and you've got a really nice facility, then that's gonna draw them in.
Yeah.
But is it enough to recoup $20 million that it costs to build the thing, or whatever it would be? We've also got a lot of folks now who are a part of this community for half of the year, 6 months out of the year. They come down and they live and they're on the lake. Well, how do we target those people? You know, what are they looking for? And how can we get them to help us pay to improve our community? I think our biggest challenge to this point, and there's a commissioner in the room listening, maybe he can spread this word along, but I think one of the biggest issues with where we're at right now is you look at Franklin County and you look at the amount of these lake houses, these gorgeous, huge lake houses that people from out of town are building. And I do not think that from a tax standpoint we are capitalizing on them enough. They live here X amount of, and we kind of, it's my understanding that there's no kind of like luxury tax within the community or anything like that on these houses, on this lakeside houses, on houses worth a certain amount or anything like that, or people who it's not their permanent residence or whatever the case is. And I wonder if there is a way for our community, for the people who live here, the locals who live here, to benefit more year-round from the folks who come down and, for lack of a better term, take advantage of what this area has to offer, whether that be our people, whether that be our lake, whether that be, the low cost of living or whatever it is. And again, when I talk about this stuff, I'm not saying that anybody's a bad person. When I say take advantage, I'm just saying there's an opportunity here for, and the secret may be out here in recent years, but there was an opportunity for low-cost property on the lake that a lot of people cashed in on.
Mm-hmm.
They had an opportunity. 10 years ago, you could buy a lake house for, what do you think, 5-7 times less, Johnny, than what it is now? I mean, you could buy a house on the lake for $300,000, $400,000. That's now $3 million.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in the 80s, you could build a house on the lake for like $150,000 probably, and that same house probably worth like $2 million now.
Yeah.
And so, how can we, if this is the route that as a community we chose to go, which it was, I mean, it was a direction as a community that was decided on. Let's become more of a tourist town. Let's take advantage of this opportunity that we've got. This is a selling point that we can, and we've done a good job with it. Downtown is beautiful. Got a ton of new beautiful lake houses. It's just gorgeous. But I don't feel like for what's come in, the amount of financial gain of building these houses and stuff like that, what's come in, I don't think has been reflected in the lifestyle of the locals.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that there is a cost benefit, right? to all of these things. Yeah, we're going to give up some of Twin Creeks comes in. Yeah, we're going to give up some of what makes Franklin County, and all this farmland and all this other stuff. But if we give that up, what are you going to give us back? It doesn't feel like the community has gotten much back. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah, I get what you're saying here. And I think you're right to a certain degree, but I don't know, maybe maybe like the mayor or somebody else could give us some more information on that, and maybe we could start, being a little more proactive about it. You know?
Well, we'll get out of here a little bit early this morning because I think we only took like one break this hour. So I'll let you run the rest of the commercials. I don't know. Maybe it was a conversation worth having. Maybe you didn't learn anything new. I'm gonna do some more digging. I'm gonna jump into some of these Facebook chats and see. I was hoping that we would get a little bit more interaction from folks, but we'll continue to talk about it.
Maybe this is what our poll question should be.
Yeah.
Get some info from the public fishing.
Yeah. All right. Well, for the Trader, I am Joe Abraham. This has been the starting lineup fueled by Loco Coffee. You're listening to ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester. Swap and Shop coming up next.
At Citizens Community Bank, we're here to make your banking easy and convenient. Whether you're